Hello, my name is Mike Williams.
I'm Tanya.
Welcome to the Williams Table YouTube channel. We started this channel years ago. I don't even know exactly how long ago, but mainly to document the life of our family together.
It has been a long time since we've posted videos with coronavirus and quarantine, and then our community had a very large hurricane in 2020 and complete devastation to our city, and we lost our home. And so for 2.5 years, we were rebuilding our home.
Yeah, I have documented a lot of that, and I plan on doing kind of a video on that journey back. It was a very long and difficult journey. But
don't want to go through that again.
Don't want to go through that again.
But we love our house.
Yes. We decided to kind of break our video silence streak, I guess, mainly because of something that we just really personally discovered for the first time, and that's the carnivore diet. And so we've decided to give it a shot after doing a lot of research, and we want to make this video in case some of you guys want to go along for the ride. This video that you're about to watch documents day 1 through day 30, so I hope you enjoy it. Last night I got to looking at some videos, and I saw some videos on the carnivore diet, and I was thinking that would work good for me because I basically eat carnivore anyway. So I was watching them mainly for me, but then I saw a bunch of testimonies from women who have different kinds of autoimmune disorders and joint pains and things like that. And I thought, man, I wonder if Tanya would be interested in this. And then I thought, there's no way, because Tanya, the thought of eating nothing but animal products, I think grosses her out. But anyway, this morning when I woke up, I told her about it, and I think she's on board.
Yeah. Well, my first thought was gross. And I love vegetables and colorful food. So that was definitely gross to think about that. But Mike had pulled up some videos, and we watched lots of testimonies, and you're seeing the before and after, and you can't lie about before and afters.
Yeah, so we decided to try this. So we started today. So this is a few hours in. We are coming off of, at our church, 21 days of prayer and fasting, which for us is kind of cutting out like sweets and all that. I've been doing kind of intermittent fasting anyway. For this last week of it, we're going to shift over to strictly carnivore. We're going to continue researching it, learning all that we can about it, and then see how we feel. And really the hope is to do 30 days minimum, maybe 90 days, to really see what effect it has.
Probably the most known expert of it, Dr. Ken Berry, and he suggests that when you start to do it, that you start with 90 days. You have to give it 90 days because you're healing your body. And just like if you were to take medicine to heal your body, it would not work with just one bottle of medicine. It's going to take months before you see the results.
It's going to be much.
I'm expecting big things though from the testimonies.
So what are some of the things that you hope?
Just the general aches that I have from having autoimmune disorder for more than a decade. I've had restless legs. I have the gut issues, blood sugar, insulin resistance. I have that. Plantar fasciitis, which is not related to that, but we'll see if it gets rid of that too. And hair loss. For the last 10 years, I've probably had hair loss due to a variety of things: alopecia, menopause. I've had COVID 3 times. I've heard that can make you lose your hair. So it could be age related, it could be COVID related, it could be autoimmune related, hormone related. I have had success from hair regrowth chemicals like Rogaine, minoxidil products, but I would love to get off of all of that and any medication and supplements. So I've got big goals.
For me, I could eat meat and animal products all day long. And I'm like, well, to me, the perfect side for steak is more steak. But she always felt like I had to have some kind of a side to eat with it. And so having salad or having potatoes or having fries or whatever, just always had a side. And for me personally, most of the time, I was not eating that necessarily for pleasure or because I needed it, because I literally just could eat meat.
Because I bullied you.
Yes. Now, where I'm going to struggle more than she's going to struggle is I have a massive sweet tooth. And so the thought of not eating cake and ice cream and stuff like that, I started off our fast with a 3-day water fast. And by the 3rd day, I was no longer craving things. So I know that the sugar cravings will go away. It's just whether or not I really want them to go away.
Well, today is January 22nd, 2024. And I don't know how often we'll make these videos, but maybe every couple of weeks we will be experiencing a new breakthrough that we notice, and we'll have something to report. So come along on this journey with us.
Yes. Also, another thing that we started today is we did go work out. So what did we have for breakfast this morning? What have we had so far?
This diet is just animal products. So I started the pan with a very nice helping of Kerrygold butter and let that get hot, and then I scrambled up cooked bacon, 8 raw eggs, and salt and pepper, and scrambled that up, and then when it was done I put a lot of cheese on it, and that's all we've had, and we've each probably had 7 or 8 glasses of water today.
Yeah, and then after that,
and I'm very full.
Maybe after about an hour or so, we went to the gym and we did a kind of a light workout relative to where we want to be. But
mine was very light.
But it was intense enough for us for day one. So we'll see how this goes. And if you're watching this video online, spoiler alert, it must have went good, because otherwise we're going to delete this video. Okay, so we're here to make a 30-day update on our carnivore journey. So I know for me, the first day was the hardest for me. And it wasn't because of the cravings or anything like that. I went through, I feel like, every single stage of grief the very first day. After we made the video, we were off to a great start, and then the reality started to set in. And I got to thinking about, does this mean I can never have cake again, or ice cream again, or watermelon, or anything like that, or gumbo? Sushi. I didn't even think about those things. So literally, I went from very excited about starting to very concerned about giving up all those things, to literally like depressed about it. And so the only thing that really got me through that first day was just the thought that we're just going to give it a try. And so it
really was day by day.
Right.
Yeah. We had to remotivate ourselves every day.
And that's what we would tell each other. We're like, you know what? We'll give it. Let's try to get 30 days at least. And if we get 30 days, then we'll evaluate. And our goal is to get 90 days. And once we get to 90 days, we'll just see. But we figured that somewhere along the line, we would see some other improvements that would give us the motivation to keep going. And so that's really what happened. Once I got past the first day and that first week out of the way, for me, it got to be much, much easier.
Yeah. And thinking back 30 days ago, you start with the little baby things. And so in the first couple of days, us waking up and going, oh, how'd you sleep? Oh, I slept so good. I slept so good. And I woke up and I wasn't groggy, and that felt great. So it's just those little things that you notice. But then 3 days into it, I realized that I have no more inflammation. And like my wedding ring, I would not be able to put my wedding ring on in the morning when I woke up. And it just it slid on like my finger was covered in butter. It just went.
I know, yeah, for me, one of the very first things, it didn't take very long. It might have been the first week. But I started to notice that my inflammation was gone as well. I call it the achy breakies. They were gone. When I would wake up in the morning, it took me a minute to get out of bed. Like just to move, from if I was laying on one side to turn over to the other side, my back and everything in me. And when I would go to stand up, my back, my knees, my ankles, everything. And I just always kind of thought, well, this is what happens as you get a little bit older. You just, life is painful, things hurt. That's just the way it is. And so I was really surprised at all those just normal, what I thought were normal pains just started to go away. I'll tell you, for another thing about sleeping for me, as far back as I can remember, there was two things that would happen throughout the night. First is when I would lay on my side, if I laid on my back, I would snore. If I lay on my side, my shoulder would start to hurt. So the longer I laid on that, it just started to get a very sharp pain in it, and it just hurt really bad. The other thing that was happening was I was always congested when I went to bed. And so I could be fine all day long. I didn't have a sniffle. I didn't have any kind of congestion. But the minute I laid down, I felt like my nose wanted to stop up. So I would lay on one side, and my nose would stop up on one side. My shoulder would start hurting. And I don't know how long I could bear that. It might have been an hour. It might have been 2 hours. And then I would have to flip over to the other side. And then the same thing would happen over there. My nose would drain over there, and I'd get stopped up. My other shoulder would hurt. And then I'd have to flip back again. And then what would normally happen is I would get tired of flipping back and forth. So I would just lay on my back, and then I would start snoring. And then Tanya would start tapping me and telling me to wake up. I was snoring.
I would ask him to turn over.
Ask me to turn over.
All night long.
All night long. And so that was my normal night's sleep, is constant flipping back and forth because of the pain and because of the congestion and then because of the snoring. But after probably about the first week, maybe 2 weeks, all that went away. My congestion, I stopped having congestion at night. My shoulder pain, which I really didn't even think about that. I didn't think of that as inflammation. I just thought of that as you're laying on your side too long and it's gonna hurt.
When we were younger, you would say this hurt.
Right.
In this area.
Yeah, my collarbones and I just thought, it's like it's like the way that your leg or your arm might fall asleep. If the blood circulation cuts off, it kind of falls asleep. So I kind of thought the pain I had was that and wasn't inflammation. So I didn't expect that to go away. But within the first 2 weeks, that was completely gone.
Yeah. So thinking back to in the very beginning, the immediate things that we could just absolutely testify to is that sleeping great, waking up not groggy, waking up and just ready to go, having energy. And coffee is not part of this program. And I definitely am a coffee drinker. So I decided to, in the first week I was still drinking the coffee, but in the second week I think I gave up the coffee. And then...
Or just 24 hours of her life.
we went a couple of weeks without coffee, and then we decided to just test it. And I thought, well, let me just test it. It's a Saturday. I'll test it on a Saturday because I don't have many responsibilities on a Saturday. So if it makes me sick, that's okay. Well, everything was fine. But the next morning when I woke up, I was sick and it had messed up my stomach. I felt terrible and I had to miss church. And so I did not want to give coffee credit for that because I really wanted my coffee. So I think for a couple of days in a row that happened where I would feel sick the day after I drank the coffee, not the same day as I drank the coffee. So we ended up saying, yes, the coffee needs to go. And so that was the first couple of weeks. And then we, with each video that we're watching from Dr. Ken Berry and Dr. Chafee, as we would learn something, we would test it ourselves. They would mention things about your medications are probably making you feel worse. And I was on one of the medications that they did mention. And so I just started cutting back to every other day I would take that medication, and then I just completely stopped taking it. So I've gotten off the medications, the prescription medication, and supplements. And that is amazing because I don't remember since we've been married, me ever getting ready for bed, shower, wash face, brush teeth, and just climb into bed. It is always, let me pull out all the different medicines and supplements and take all of this stuff, and I drink way too much water, and then I get up all night pottying. But that is not a thing anymore. So I'm very happy about that.
I know that one of the things that she struggled with the most was restless legs, and she was on all kinds of medication for restless legs.
Well, supplements.
And even with all of that, and you would try tape, and you tried all kinds of stuff for how long have you had restless legs?
Several decades. I don't even remember when it started.
Because there's been so many nights that I would wake up and she's walking around the room and she can't sleep and her legs are hurting her, and pretty much every single night it would happen, right?
Yeah.
Even with the supplements, even with everything she tried.
But through the years, I would learn that if I took more magnesium, my legs could rest. And there were some supplements that I would grab off of Amazon, but I would never let those run out, because even everywhere we went, if we went on vacation, if we went to the camp for the weekend, one overnighter, I could not be without those supplements, or I would not be able to sleep.
Yeah, and I know it even hindered us. Sometimes we would talk about going on vacation, and she's like, I just don't know that I can sleep. If we were going to go out of town or something, she's like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep in a hotel.
It really dictated.
And having to get up, and especially we had the family with us, she's like, I got to get up in the middle of the night with my legs. And so it really was hindering her life. How long did it take before you started to see that go away?
It's been over a week that I haven't been taking the medication and supplements, but it's been several weeks since I've had restless legs. That's great.
So that's a really big thing. And I kind of assumed that for me, this was more of a weight loss thing. For her, since she didn't really need to lose weight, I was hoping that, she would see the benefits the other people were seeing in the pain and all that. And that definitely has been the case. And so I know for me, at first I'm thinking, how long is it? We're going to do this. We're going to do it for 30 days. We're going to do it for 90 days. But just because I feel so much better, I definitely think this is something that we're going to continue much further. We may adapt it at some point, kind of the way we added coffee back. I track every day. We both keep a journal, which I highly recommend you do if you do this, and just track everything. So I track what time I wake up. From the minute I wake up, I track how much sleep I got. I track my weight. I track my ketones. I got the ketone strips to know if I'm in ketosis. So I've been in ketosis the whole time. I check my blood pressure every day, which, by the way, for me personally, the number one thing I could say is my blood pressure. Far back as I can remember, even when I was, young, and I would go to the doctor, they would tell me I was like borderline high blood pressure. And every single person in my family is on blood pressure medication. And probably about 20 or 30 years ago, it got so high that the doctor told me I needed to be on blood pressure meds. It was really high. And so I got on blood pressure meds, and I just hated it. First of all, I hate taking pills. But everybody would tell me, oh, it's hereditary, and everybody in your family's on blood pressure medication. You're going to have to be on blood pressure medication. And my blood pressure medication went out. I go to the doctor about once every 30 years. And so when it ran out, I didn't have it refilled. I called the doctor and I said, my blood pressure medication is out. And he's like, well, you got to come in to get it refilled. And I told him what my current blood pressure readings were at the time. And they were elevated. I don't remember exactly what they were, but he said, and I'd been off of them for a couple months because I hadn't been. And he said, well, just keep monitoring it. And if it gets any worse, come see me. We'll put you back on them. And again, that was 20 or 30 years ago. It, over that course of time, has had times when it would get worse, much worse. I knew it had to do with my weight. And so I've gone through several different diets. But when I would lose the weight, my blood pressure would get better. It never got right, but it would get better. But even when I was on blood pressure medication, I don't feel like my blood pressure ever got like much better than like the 120/80. Like I would hit the 120/80 and I'm like, okay, that's perfect. That's what I want. After about 2 or 3 weeks on Carnivore, my blood pressure is averaging somewhere around 115/72 or something like that. It's never been like that. And so for me, that's the most important thing for me, is that I know I'm in a healthy blood pressure range. I have lost weight. So I've lost about 27 pounds total. About 11 or 12 of that has been since we started Carnivore. But one of the things that I really wanted to make sure of, I knew a guy who did Atkins back when it was a real big thing, and he was eating only meats. But he was eating like lean meats, and he was still, stay away from fat and all that for the most part. And he lost a lot of weight, but he lost all of his muscle mass. And he was very unhappy with the way he looked, the way he felt. And he would just, he was upset with himself that he did that diet. And so one of the things about carnivore is that if you're getting a lot of protein, which builds muscle and builds your body, and you also have to get a lot of fat, which fuels your body because you're not getting any carbs anymore. And your body will naturally produce carbs if you're getting enough. And that's been the hardest part about this diet by far. It's very difficult to eat enough.
Yeah. And you can feel your energy is lower when you need to eat more.
Yeah. And like I'm never hungry, so it's hard for me to eat because when we do eat, we're eating protein, a lot of fat, but not enough. I can remember one day I looked, and you don't have to track things so much on this diet, but one of the things that I definitely, one day I sat down and I said, let me just calculate how much fat and how much protein I've had today. And I was thinking I needed between 170 to 200-ish grams of protein, and really I'm supposed to be having more fat than protein. And I did the calculations, and I had about 100 grams of protein and about 100 grams of fat. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And so the next day I said, I'm gonna hit my numbers today. And I wasn't even losing weight. It's like I was, I even gained some weight on some days. And so that day I remember I ate like 6 eggs, 9 strips of bacon with butter and cheese. And I think I had a hamburger patty that day. All that was my breakfast. And then for we eat like a late lunch and early dinner. I ate a big 16-ounce ribeye. I ate the other half of her ribeye. I think we had some salmon. I mean, I had I think we had shrimp that day. I ate a bunch, and I had for that day. I could look it up, but I think I was 220 grams of protein and 230 grams of fat. I lost a pound that day. It was crazy. I felt like I ate, the entire cow.
I didn't set out to have big weight loss goals, but I also have almost lost as much as Mike. Since we've started carnivore, I'm not trying to lose weight, but definitely am so glad that I feel better in my clothes. And I know that I can actually see across my back transforming and getting leaner and changing. And I'm very happy about that.
My goal this year was to get in the best shape of my life. And I feel like I'm healthier than I have been in my adult life, just strictly with my blood pressure and the weight that I'm currently at. I'm definitely much healthier than I've ever been. I'm not as strong as I want to be, so I'm still working on that. And I still can't run as far yet as I used to run. So I'm still working on that. Every time I would lose weight in the past, and you start losing weight, the one thing I would not do is I wouldn't throw away all my clothes. I wouldn't get rid of them because in the back of my mind, I'm like, I'm probably going to need these again. And so I would put them away, and as a result, I had a huge amount of clothes in the closet.
We don't throw away clothes. We donate them.
So Tanya was always telling me, you have to go through the closet. You have to go through the closet. You have to go through the closet. Well, this time around, I really feel like, this it's just math. I mean, the longer you stay on it, the more you're going to lose. I feel better, so there's not the incentive to cheat. On keto, I was always looking for the substitute sweet.
Or bread.
Right.
Keto breads.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted the keto
snacks, keto crackers.
Ice cream, candy bars. And that was always what would do me in. And when I watched the videos online of other people that transitioned from keto to carnivore, they all say the same thing. They're like, carnivore is 100 times better than keto, because keto, you're still eating processed foods, you're still eating packaged foods, you're still eating stuff from the grocery store shelf, and it just isn't as healthy for you. And it keeps your body craving sweets. And as long as you get that sweet craving, you're going to have times of temptation. Sweet cravings for me that first week were crazy because I'm addicted to sweets.
We're not having them anymore.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. The first week on carnivore, I had major sweet cravings, and if I would have been on keto, I would have been feeding those cravings. But instead, I didn't, and they went away. And Tanya's always cooking sweets because we still have our young adults ministry, and she makes desserts for them. And this past Thursday, we had group, and she made vanilla cake with wedding cake icing. My favorite.
With the almond extract.
I could eat a whole tub of that icing in a sitting with ice cream. That, to me, that was perfectly heavenly. I was helping her clean up, and I had some of that icing on my finger, and I'm like, I could just lick it and taste it, and I didn't. I'm like, nope, not going to do it. Good for you. Because I know that would just bring those cravings back.
Yeah.
You know, just a couple of things that I thought, just some interesting things. You hear these people talk about it, about all the things that it's done and all the things that it's cured. And I mean, like, I've seen testimonies of people, not only the people that went from, you know, lost hundreds of pounds and just look amazing, to a lot of people have their skin completely clear up. I've seen people that had just full-blown psoriasis, completely gone, no medication, completely gone, arthritis, completely gone. So you hear all these claims, and so a few of the claims I heard is, one, a lot of them would say they quit using deodorant. And I'm like, that's weird. But I decided to try it. And so I quit using deodorant, and I would go to Tanya and I'm like, hey, here's my shirt. Tell me, can you tell if I wore this or not? And she's like, no, I can't smell anything. I'm like, I haven't worn deodorant in a week. So I thought it's kind of weird. It's kind of funny.
No, he hadn't worn the shirt for a week.
Right.
Just no deodorant for a week.
Yeah, I shower every day. But I would go run, and I would sweat, and I would come back. And then
he had no body odor.
And yeah, so I thought that was very interesting. You do
but
sweat.
That's not my story.
You do. I don't sweat as much as I used to, but again, that could just be from weight loss. People would also say that they don't get sore when they work out. And I've noticed that too, but I also don't work out as hard as some people do. But for example, when I first started working out, if I would do like abs, I literally would do an ab workout, and I could not do abs again for like a week and a half. So I did only 2 ab exercises in the beginning of the year when I was doing, before we started Carnivore, when I was doing the intermittent fasting and all that, and I tried to start working out again, because it would take so long to recover. Once I got on Carnivore, I went in one day and I worked out, again, just to try to test it. I worked out for like 2 or 3 hours. I was doing upper body. I was doing, I did abs at the end of it and everything. And the next day, I could tell I worked out. I mean, there was some muscle fatigue there, but normally I'm a second day sore person. So I didn't work out the next day at all, just to see what happened. And I figured by the next day I wouldn't be able to move. By the next day I couldn't tell at all. So you might say, well, your muscles kind of get used to working out. And it could be that. I don't know. But I know that when I go run, I'm not sore the next day. I really haven't had any soreness. And I think you experienced that a little bit too, right?
Right. Each time that I've been in the gym, I have no soreness the next day.
There are a couple claims that I still am excited to see if it happens. Like, for example, I have some severe dry skin on my elbow. Have always had that, even as a kid, I feel like. And so many people talk about their skin clearing up that I'm hoping maybe that will clear up. That hasn't happened yet.
I'm also looking forward to, somebody had made a claim that their plantar fasciitis was gone. And we both have hurt our feet. We love pickleball. I want to get back to pickleball.
It's pretty much gone for me. I can still, if I hit my foot a certain way, I can still feel a little bit. But used to, I couldn't even walk for a little bit on that particular part. When I get up in the morning, I had my general soreness everywhere or pains everywhere. And then I had that one. That one was a different one. And all the other ones went away. That one has gotten, for me, significantly better. I go run and it doesn't bother me. The only time it really bothers me is when I'm off my feet for a long, long time. And then I get on them. I can still tell that it's there. But I do feel like that one's on the way out. So I'm excited to see that one go too. And a lot of the claims of the people that have made a lot of these crazy claims, they've been on Carnivore for maybe 6 months, some of them years. And they talk about that over the course of time, everything. I watched a guy last night, and he said that every single ailment he had, with the exception of his eyesight and his hearing. Those two things, he's an older guy. He's like everything else gone. Arthritis, people getting rid of Crohn's disease, people getting rid of just chronic fatigue, all kinds of things. And they're like, it cured every single one of them. And I have seen stories of people saying that their eyesight got better.
Oh, did I tell y'all that I've stopped taking naps? Did we talk about that?
No, but that's huge for you.
Oh, I have taken naps our entire marriage.
And not out of
after lunch, I take a nap. But
she hits her wall. And you could just see it on her. Her whole body is just like,
it's chronic fatigue.
Yeah. And she's like, I hit my wall.
And I need a nap. And nothing will make that fatigue go away unless I actually fall asleep. Not just lay down. I would have to take a nap.
Yeah.
And that has not been part of this carnivore. I don't need a nap.
Yeah, so you have lots of energy, you have no aches and pains, you're never hungry. You're actually having to force yourself to eat enough for the benefits that I want to get. I want muscle gain and I want weight loss. That's the only hard part. Everything else to me is very easy. I don't see why I would want to get off of the diet in the future because it just has too many benefits. Most of the people that are on the diet, I watched a guy, and if you decide to try this diet, I would recommend watching videos every day. Every night I watch videos, every day we watch some together. I'll tell her the things I saw at night after she went to bed. And we just want to keep educating ourselves. So this is our update, 30 days. We'll try to update a little bit more. We get a lot of questions just from the people that we tell we're on carnivore after the initial, you're going to have a stroke.
Oh, no, well, how long do you plan to do this?
Yeah. Everybody's
Forever.
Everybody's like, meat's bad for you. You're going to have, your cholesterol is going to be crazy high. And there's tons of videos on all those questions. But we watch them. I mean, we definitely do a lot of research. And of course, you're not supposed to get medical advice over the internet. And we're not giving medical advice at all. We're just telling you our story. Do your own research, figure out what's best for you. But we will keep you posted. So see you next time.
Bye.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our video of day 1 through day 30 of our carnivore journey. And we hope to make a video about once a week, just kind of mainly answering questions that a lot of our family and friends ask us.
Or maybe showing you our plates of food, the things that I love that he's in the kitchen now. Before carnivore, he wasn't in the kitchen very much. And now we have purchased, a griddle? What is that called?
A 4-burner griddle for outside.
We cook outside every day. I love that.
Yeah, and we also have a lot of questions that our family and friends have asked us about the diet. And so we're going to try our best to answer those questions. And if anyone watching this has questions, we would love to try to answer them. Just put them in the comments below and we'll do our best to address them. Maybe in the videos that we do as a follow-up. Just we can all kind of take this journey together.
I know for myself, as I am healing and seeing, having great testimony, so many people come to my mind, people that I know that are struggling with certain things or similar things to me, and I know that it's a lot to think of eating the way we're eating, but whenever you feel good and you're seeing the results, it really keeps you disciplined because you just feel so good. I feel like it has given me my life back.
Yeah, so if you would like to be notified anytime we post a new video, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel, like the video, and you'll get notifications anytime we post. If you are on the carnivore diet, or if you've tried it in the past and whether it worked or didn't work, we would love to hear from you too. Put a comment in there, tell us your story, tell us any tips or tricks that you might have, and we just look forward to taking this journey together. So, see you next time.